The movie I chose to do for my presentation is Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 is a buddy cop action comedy movie released in 2003. It's a sequel to Bad Boys, which, funnily enough, I've never actually seen. But it stars Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as the two main characters. This movie is pretty near and dear to me. It's one of those movies my dad will always watch if it's on TV. It's right up there with movies like Notting Hill and Broken Arrow that he cannot resist putting on if it's on TV. So to start with, a little synopsis for the movie that doesn't give too much away. Ecstasy, the drug, is kind of flowing into Miami. The police don't know where it's coming from, and they want it stopped. So Detective Marcus Burnett, played by Martin Lawrence, and his partner Mike Lowry, played by Will Smith, are assigned to figure out where it's coming from, track it down, and stop it. So they eventually track the drugs to a Cuban smuggler named Johnny Tapia, who has managed to evade a lot of crimes so far, and is involved in a bloody war with Russian and Haitian mobsters. So that makes it kind of hard to get to this guy. To add on to their problems, there's tension between the two cops because Mike is romantically involved with Marcus's sister Sid, who is also involved in the whole situation because she's working undercover for the DEA to try to figure out where the ecstasy is coming from as well. So overall, it creates some sticky situations, makes their job harder, and leads to a lot of action and craziness. So the whole movie is based in character-to-character relationships. The main relationships are the ones between Mike and Marcus, Mike and Sid and Marcus, kind of a triangle there. These relationships push the plot forward in a lot of places. For example, Mike and Marcus kind of become further entangled into the conflict between Johnny Tapia and the Haitian mob when they try to save Sid from them, as she gets involved as an undercover agent. At the heart of the movie is the buddy cop element. So Mike and Marcus are going through a rocky patch in their police partnership. There's some dramatic irony in that we know that Marcus wants to transfer to a different police department to get out of their partnership, but we don't. Obviously, Mike doesn't know that. And then Marcus also obviously loves his sister, and he's upset that Mike and her are in a relationship together. This kind of further strains their relationship as partners. So it's kind of a cliche like will they won't they kind of thing, but instead of being between romantic partners, they're police partners. These relationships in general make the characters more relatable, and it also brings the stakes of the movie higher just due to the interpersonal conflict that they have. And the next thing I want to talk about is the cinematography of this movie and some specific camera shots I found to be effective. The movie is shot like action movies usually are, with quick cuts, fast movement to emphasize the feeling of the action. This leads the audience feeling more immersed within the events of the movie. Additionally, there were a couple shots I really liked in the movie. There were two shots in particular that are very similar. They both involve a circular shot that pans around the characters. So in this slide on the left, when Mike and Marcus are raiding the Haitians' hideout, there's this shot that shows Marcus and Mike on one side of the wall and the Haitians on the other. I found the shot to be honestly super cool. It presents the characters all in one shot and gives you perspective on where they are in relation to each other while managing to keep the action going. It runs perpendicular to some action films where fight scenes are hard to follow due to quick cuts, confusing perspectives, lighting problems, etc. The second scene on the right side of the PowerPoint slide is similar. It also uses a circular shot, which is something Michael Bay really likes to use in his movies. The one I can think of off the top of my head is Transformers. I'm sure there's many circular. I'm thinking of one in particular, but I know there's probably tons. But this circular shot conveys the gravity of the situation our characters are in. It focuses on them at the center of the circular pan. You can tell kind of they're in a tense situation. It's focusing on them, their expressions, and obviously it shows that whatever Marcus is talking about on the phone there is going to be super important just due to the fact that the camera's just panning around them. So it really portrays just the importance of that moment in the movie, even though it's kind of short. And then just as a final point, I want to stress that this movie at the core is just a fun buddy cop action flick. There's a lot of humor and ridiculousness throughout the movie, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. When there are some serious parts, it definitely kind of plays them down with the humor, which there are some kind of serious stuff, so it's a little better. Also, some of the humor is a tad bit dated. It was released in 2003, but it still makes me laugh when I watch it. When I was watching it, rewatching it for this presentation, it still holds up in my mind at least. The only bad thing I can say about it is a little bit too long, but that just means more fun, more action, and more explosions. Thank you.